This is ERi-TV English news broadcast live from the headquarters in Asmara. I'm your reporter Bersa Betagle, and these are the major headlines for today. International Women's Day celebrated at national level in Asmara. Eritrea is participating at the 67th Commission on Status of Women being held in New York. Russia and India dent dollar's dominance. And Greeks strike over deadly train crash and government pledges to fix rail ills. On your local reports, International Women's Day 8 March has been celebrated at national level at Expo Compound under the theme Eritrean Women Unwavering and Undertaking Sweats to Cultivate. At the occasion in which senior government and invited guests took part, Ms. Alem Belai, head of the National Union of Eritrean Women branch in the Central Region, said that the Eritrean women inside the country and abroad have and are demonstrating equal participation in the national affairs, indicating that Eritrea is emerging to a new historical stage owing to the noble culture and perseverance of its people. Ms. Alem expressed readiness to strengthen participation in the successful implementation of the national development drives, pointing out that International Women's Day has been celebrated for more than 40 years in Eritrea. Mr. Fusahaye Haile, governor of the Central Region, said that this year's celebration is unique for its being conducted during a special stage in the history of the country. At the event, the Assembly of the Central Region and heads of the national associations delivered messages of solidarity. The celebratory event was highlighted by cultural and artistic programs depicting the day. Eritrea is participating at the 67th Commission on the Status of Women being held in New York, the U.S. from 6 to 17 March under the theme Innovation and Technological Change in Education and the Digital Age for Achieving Equality and the Empowerment of All Women and Girls. Eritrea's delegation, led by Mr. Atisfa Mikael, chairperson of the National Union of Eritrean Women, is also participating. Ministers and other senior representatives of 181 countries are presenting reports focusing on how gender equality, empowerment and sustainable development can be achieved in the digital era, contribution of technology and innovation in strengthening economic and educational capacity, as well as health of women, eradication of gender inequalities and illiteracy, as well as opportunities and challenges of digital age. The Eritrean delegation underlined that in order for the participation of women to develop in the digital technology, there are certain conditions that should be met, including addressing the gap of technological development among countries, putting in place orderly structure to eradicate poverty, as well as ending conflicts and unilateral sanctions. The Eritrean delegation is also presenting briefings at the extraordinary discussion forums in which senior officials are taking part, focusing on the background of the Eritrean women and their contribution in the national development programs and equal opportunities. Eritrea became member of the Commission in 1995 and since then has been presenting report on the progress of Eritrean women in education, health, economy, as well as in eradicating backward traditions as well as harmful practices. On your last local report, the International Women's Day 8 March has been celebrated in Adita Kalezan at regional level under the theme Eritrean Women Unwavering and Undertaking Sweats to Cultivate. At the occasion, Ms. Amna Hassan, head of the National Union of Eritrean Women branch in Ansaba region, explaining on the role and participation of Eritrean women during the armed struggle for independence, safeguarding the national sovereignty as well as in the national development programs, said that the history of Eritrean women will be proudly remembered by generations. Speaking at the event, Ambassador Abdullah Musa, governor of Ansaba region, indicating on the unparalleled contribution of Eritrean women in the history of the country, called for reinforced participation in the national affairs. Ambassador Abdullah also commended the participation of women in the development programs in general and that of water and soil conservation activities, as well as in redressing the environment. The occasion featured various programs depicting the day. Dear viewers, and now I'll be back with your international news. Do stay with us. Welcome back. The US dollar is seeing its decade-old dominance in oil trade undermined by sanctions against Russia, Reuters reported on Wednesday. Over the past few months, most deals between India and Russia have been settled in other currencies, such as the Russian ruble and the United Arab Emirates dirham, the agency said, citing its oil trading and banking sources. Moscow has become India's top crude supplier after the nation's refiners started to snap up Russian crude at discounts following the US and the European Union embargoes on Russian oil and sanctions against the country's banks. Over the last 3 months, oil trade transactions between India and Russia totaled the equivalent of several $100 million, the agency source said, adding that New Delhi has also prepared a framework for settling trade in Indian rupees, should ruble transactions be blocked by further sanctions. The US dollar has for decades been the most widely accepted currency in international oil trade. However, according to Reuters, the current shift into other currencies could prove lasting. On your final report, thousands of workers walked off the job on Wednesday to protest over Greece's deadliest train disaster, with mass demonstrations expected to culminate outside Parliament in Athens. The crash on February 28 killed 57 people and has stirred public outrage over the crumbling state of the Greek rail network. Striking workers say years of neglect, underinvestment and understaffing, a legacy of Greece's decade-long debt crisis, are to be blamed. Many of the around 350 people aboard on the intercity passenger train that collided head-on with a freight train while traveling on the same track were university students heading to the northern city of Thessaloniki from Athens after a long public holiday weekend. The disaster has led to protesters across Greece, with more than 10,000 people rallying in Athens on Sunday. Thousands were expected to rally in central Athens on Wednesday. Rail workers have staged rolling 24-hour strikes since Thursday, bringing the network to a halt. They say their demands for improvement in safety protocols have gone unheard for years and have promised to impose safety to ensure that a crash will not be repeated. The Conservative government, whose term ends in July and was initially planning to call elections in the coming weeks, has blamed the crash mainly on human error and deficiencies that have not been fixed over the past decades. You're still watching us on ERi-TV, dear viewers, and now a recap of the major headlines. International Women's Day celebrated at national level in Asmara. Eritrea is participating at the 67th Commission on Status of Women being held in New York. Russia and India dent dollar's dominance. And Greeks strike over deadly train crash and government pledges to fix rail ills. Dear viewers, that was it for today. Thanks for watching and happy Women's Day.